granting those are inaccurate, granting that those are not 100% correct, still covered by the freedom of press and freedom of expression guaranteed by the Philippine Constitution.
Ako, I will not decide for my vote with regards to the revocation on the House bill filed by Congressman Ruth Rodriguez unless malinaw talagang basis. Now, for example, NTC medyo malinaw na yan, pero wala pang finality. Now, KBP, I'm waiting for your final decision with regards to the case o complaint filed against the SMNI para magamit namin dito. Eh, alam mo niyo, yung regular court now. Mr. Chairman, in the next hearing, we will invite Mr. Domingo para malinaw. Kasi, ano ba yan? Forum shopping and case. And I will check also KBP. I will also check with the legal department in the House if there is a legal impediment with regards to that. Kasi pag walang legal impediment, that it will not be a forum shopping, eh you better check with your legal also. Para pag nagkita-kita tayo dito next hearing, hindi ka magka-problema. Baka mamaya ang opinion ng legal dito sa House is different from what you have said.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we note that and we'll take cognizance.
Like the RCB, nandito ba sila? MTRCB, what is now the update of the case or the complaint?
The complaint po against the two TV, sorry, sir, if I may, Your Honors, the complaints regarding the two TV programs po, gikan sa masa, para sa masa and laban kasama ang bayan, we've already decided on it. We have the decision was for 28 days suspension, including the preventive suspension. SMNI filed a notice of appeal, so we are going to transmit the records of the case to the Office of the President's Appeals Committee now.
So, 28 days suspension,
Yes, Your Honor.
1 month.
Yes, Your Honor, it is already with the Office of the President.
When was that? Submitted to the Office of the President.
They submitted their notice to appeal, Your Honor, last February 1, Your Honor. And we are in the process of transmitting the records of the case to the Office of the President.
Pero notice pa lang yun.
Yes, Your Honor. But
Anyway, let it be. Just submit those documents available with regards to the complaint and the decision of the MTRCB. Para makita lang po namin, lalo na yung you mentioned about the violation of your decision with regards to the violation of the provisions of the franchise.
yes, Your Honor, we will.
Thank you.
The Honorable Paduano. Now the chair recognizes the Honorable Paul Dasa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon. I came this afternoon, having read in our schedule, 4 items that my understanding is being taken up together in the committee. These are all serious resolutions, condemning fake news and revoking a legislative franchise. And that's why I came. And I want to make sure that whatever vote I put in is an informed one. I wanted to give SMNI all the opportunity to give us reasons not to support revoking a franchise, because the last thing I'd like to see are for officers, employees, families to be affected and lose their employment, just like what happened with ABS-CBN. But I'm having a hard time accepting some of the responses from the representatives of the SMNI. But just to clarify, I understand, I think Atty.Tolentino, Mr. Chair, said that if anchors are doing things wrong, there's always, you can always address those issues by filing civil and criminal cases. So and I understand that that goes for any industry. We all have a right to file civil, criminal cases, and I don't think that's a sufficient response. Does SMNI have, just like other media outlets that I think they have, which are internal guidelines to discipline, let's say, talent. Because I know in on TV, if a talent, let's say, says something that's really, unacceptable, di ba? They'll discipline a talent. Do you have any standards or guidelines?
Like to manifest that we submitted with the committee the TV and radio manual of operation, Mr. Chair. So we have a guidelines, Mr. Chair.
No, specifically, Mr. Chair, if a anchor says something that just we all, 100% of the population agree is wrong. And so an anchor says, raping na lang ninyo yan, di ba? Okay? So, without somebody filing a case or complaining to you, how would you pick that up and how would you discipline that talent?
Mr. Chair, we have an editorial board, Mr. Chair. And for details, Mr. Chair, the operation manager of SMNI can explain that in details.
That's kung meron pong nagsabi ng sinabi niyo na rapin na lang yan, hindi po yun uubra sa editorial policy ng SMNI at sigurado po na kung hindi lang mapapatawag ay matatanggal po kung ganun po ang bigat po ng
But
sinabi.
how would, if let's say no one complained to you, how would you know one of your talent said something like that? Because kanina tinanong po kayo, I think 2 or 3 members asked you about certain statements that were, I personally felt wrong on red tagging, but none of you denied knowing those statements were made, so nothing was ever done. So how do you actually monitor? Because you apparently don't monitor your own shows and your own talent.
Your Honor, if I may. Every after ng program po, Your Honor, may mga report na ginagawa yung mga producers namin and assessment po. In regards sa problema po, dun sa may mga issues po or nilabag po yung mga anchors po namin, meron po yung team po namin na nagmo-monitor and maliban pa dun sa assessment na binibigay ng mga producers po, papatawag po sila po.
So, Mr. Chair, then I would assume yung mga pinakita kanina, mga sinabi, at the judgment of your editors, hindi report yun kasi parang okay lang. Is that correct?
With regards po sir, kung comment lang po ang sinabi, komento po ng ating mga anchors po. Merong certain gauge na ginagawa yung editorial policy po namin. Kung ito ay komento lang po ba, or kasi gaya po na sinasabi po namin, kung ano po yung komento ng mga anchors po namin, hindi po yung stand ng company. So kung meron po siyang sasagutin po, yung mga anchors po namin, siya po magiging liable po sa mga sinasabi po niya. Your Honor, I'd like to clarify po. Iba po yung iba po yung pinapatakaran po natin kung ito po ay news program or kung ito po ay commentary ng mga programa. Kasi sa news po, hindi po pwede mag-comment po ang ating yung ating mga reporters. Iba po ang stand po natin dyan. But in terms po sa mga program katulad ng Laban Kasama ang Bayan, Pulso ng Bayan, commentary po ang mga programang ito, Your Honor. And may free hand po yung ating mga anchors po na magbigay ng komento kung ano po yung pinag-uusapan po nila. And yung komento po nila ay ito po ay personal opinion po ng mga anchors po namin. At ulitin, kaya po sinasabi po namin, kaya po kami may disclaimer dahil kung ano man po ang opinion ng aming mga anchors, hindi po ito personal stand ng network po.
So therefore, Mr. Chair, in case there are violations by the anchors, there are other options like filing a case, but not to affect or to revoke the franchise, because a franchise granted by the Philippine government is already a proprietary right protected by the due process clause of the Philippine Constitution.
Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Tolentino,
Thank you for the time given
maraming
me.
salamat, the Honorable Dasa.
And Mr. Chair, this is not my opinion, Mr. Chair.
Well,
I'm just reading the
well, it is-
jurisprudence of the Philippine Supreme Court.
Well,
Mr.
I
Chair.
think that is your opinion based on what you are reading. If you only nitpick on certain, because first of all, we don't know what case are you referring
Can I
to.
read?
Sa inyo, yung franchise, at nobody question about it. You review in section 15.
Here.
Oh, now you're telling us, is as if that you're telling us that we don't have the powers and authority to approve and revoke franchise. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung powers. Yung prangkisa nyo mismo, Section 15.
Can I make a manifestation, Mr. Chair?
Hindi.
Please read, I think there's a,
Gusto
section
ko basahin mo.
Okay,
Section
Mr. Chair.
15.
Okay.
Oh,
This-
para marinig ng lahat.
This franchise shall be subject to amendment, alteration,
Oh.
repeal by the Congress of the Philippines when the public interest so requires, and shall not be interpreted as an exclusive grant of privileges herein provided.
Ano?
GR number 1961999.
Sandali. Kasi tinanggap nitong prangkisa na to that we have the right to repeal, amend. I know you're telling us na para wala kaming karapatan.
With
Ay,
all,
tinanggap niyo yung prangkisa nyo. Now we want it to amend, to repeal, or to revoke. And we have that authority based on your franchise as a law.
with all due respect, Mr. Chair, though I respect the congressman from Iloilo, Mr. Chair, it says from Negros, Mr. Chair, it says here, Mr.
he's
Chair,
not from Iloilo.
when
He's
the
not from
public
Iloilo.
interest so requires.
Yeah.
So who determines when the public interest so requires? So the jurisprudence, Mr. Chair.
Of course, Congress, because we are given the authority. And we only need to give you due process. And what we're doing now is the due process. To amend, to repeal, or to revoke the franchise.
Mr. Chair.
I respect the opinion of the good congressman, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. But still, the power of the Congress is subject to judicial review, Mr. Chair.
So